When I saw footage of it, I was just like, it's just going to be Grand Blue Fantasy Versus with different characters, but it's absolutely not. Definitely got its own thing going on here. What the heck is DNF Duel? Hello and welcome to another NihongoGamer video. A new fighting game has just come out today, and it has mostly taken me by surprise because I wasn't available to play it during the open betas, so I had to do my research. Apparently it comes from a very popular MMO over in Korea, but I had never heard about it before. And I was like, where did this game come from? And how is it getting a conversion into being one of the most beautiful fighting games that you can make these days? It's made by Arc System Works, and they're using the same style of graphics that they make for Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Guilty Gear Strive, Dragon Ball Fighters. They have really mastered the art of using 3D models to make it look just as good, if not better, than 2D models. It's absolutely astounding, but I know very little else about this game, apart from the fact that there are some interesting system mechanics. This is the controller I'm going to be using today. It's a button box instead of an arcade stick. Usually I like to try a fighting game out on arcade stick first because most of them come from the arcades, but this is one of the modern fighters which was built very much with the control pad gaming generation in mind. So there are ways to play this game completely without the complicated technical motions, but I believe there are some advantages to doing technical motions. I think we should just take this advantage, just go in completely fresh and try it out. Alright, so this is the title screen for DNF Duel. This riff that plays on the title screen, what a riff. I absolutely love this. But it does remind me a lot of the title music for Dead or Alive 5. Let's have a look at these characters, because one of the main things that can draw you into a fighting game if you don't know anything about the game is to have a look at the characters and see whether there's anyone who interests you. We got a guy with red eyes, a dude with a gun and a hat, a dude with a cape, dude with a gun, a lady with a dragon for a hand, or maybe she's holding the dragon head. There is a lady with a scarf, a lady with a spear, a lady who probably does punching, I'm guessing from the knuckles. On the right side, we've got the dude from FF10 with the blue hair, a lady with a water gun, a girl with a soft toy, and she's kind of taped it better. She's sewed it back together because it's obviously been dismembered at some point. A dude with a gun, an empty space. Maybe this is a boss character that you have to win later. A dude who has frostbite on his arm, a man with a cross, probably a priest, and a dude who is Ryo from King of Fighters. Alright, so let's click on tutorial and see how to play this game. This is a 1 versus 1 fighting game. Control your character to defeat your opponent. Alright, I think this is the main mechanic that separates this game from many other fighting games. It's got a magic gauge that you can actually overspend. If you don't have enough MP, you can actually still use a big move that needs MP, but you'll end up exhausted and it'll take time before you build the gauge back up again. Alright, basic movement, walk left, walk right. I can dash by pressing back, forward. It looks just like you've got normal jumping, no super jumping. Interesting. Alright, so pretty standard in a fighting game. You've got an A attack, you've got a B attack, you've got a crouching A attack, crouching B attack. It looks like your main attacks are all on the face buttons of the controller, and you can set 2 buttons being pressed together to the shoulder button. And also there's a guard button separately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset my buttons here. A, B, skill, MP skill attack, I'm going to have that on cross. Guard, I'll have that on R2. And then awakening, I'll set that to L1. So skill, I've got this weird tornado move, and I guess if I press forward in skill, I get a different one. If I press backward in skill, it brings my enemy towards me. I suppose I've also got a crouching one as well, which looks like a dragon punch of sorts. MP skill, now that uses 50 MP just to press the button on its own, and standard grab is to press A and B at the same time. Alright, fortunately I was able to remap the controls so that the play button here is touchpad. Now when I'm in the tutorial menus, I can actually just press the touchpad to move on to the next menu. Hold the button and I'm guarding, or press back and I'm guarding. You can crouch guard by pressing down and R2, or down and back. You can do a dodge move by pressing forward and guard. Interesting. Oh, and that goes through the enemy. When your character's HP is below 30%, the awakening effect will be activated. So this is some kind of super combo. Cinematic supers. Short and sweet. That's how we like it. Depending on the type of attack landed, it will inflict white damage or red damage. Keep smacking my opponent with these white damage moves. Do an MP skill or something and convert into red damage. Nice. Plus, it also does its own damage. It's nice that the colors are really clear. You see a lot of white color at the top, and then it's like, okay, that's not real damage. I need to convert that. I'll make sure I spend money to do it. So normally I can press forward an MP skill to do this move, or I can do a quarter circle forward, and actually it says good on screen. Yeah, I like being pat on the back. Interesting. So I can convert white damage into MP. I'm liking how they're implementing a large number of like RPG style mechanics into a fighting game, because honestly, fighting games usually go for like the very obvious stuff. And having things like cooldowns and conversions, and Grand Blue Fantasy Versus does a little bit of that as well. So that white damage on my health bar, my opponent hasn't actually cashed in on it yet, but I can cash in on it for them. So I turn it into actual real damage, but in exchange, I get 10 MP bonus. I like being given these options so I can choose how I take the game, like more defensively or more offensively, or bigger gambles. Crouching guard button. And then if they jump, oh, cool. It automatically changes my direction. So there are definitely benefits to having a guard button. Again, very similar to Grand Blue Fantasy Versus guard break. So if their guard break gauge is low, and I do an attack, enough attacks that actually do a guard break, presumably that leaves them in a state where they're defenseless for a bit. Guard cancel is effective for preventing your guard gauge from being reduced. You can exchange 100 MP to counter attack and turn the situation around. Right, so another option. Again, I love having plenty of options. So while I'm blocking, I can just press forward, triangle, and R1, which is, I mean, it'll be circle if you're playing on pad. First, try out all of Swiftmarter's skills. So Wind Blaster. Alright, tornadoes. We got the Dragon Punch Tornado. Double Hurricane. Alright, so I've gone through the basic tutorials for the game and also a little bit about my main character, and now it's time to learn some combos. Swiftmaster combo number 1. Sweet. Seems like a standard basic combo. Next combo. And then into Storm Quaker. There we go, got it. Challenge clear. There we go, did the Sonic move, and then I need to Aerial Blaster from the other side. Ah, it's too far away. Okay, I can do this. Yes! It took me so long to do that, and it wasn't actually because it was difficult. It's because I just kind of refused to learn the timing. Like my hands want to do the timing that I would do like a character in some other fighting game. But a lot of these moves you have to like wait until after a couple seconds. The character's fallen down a little bit further before you press the button so that you catch them in exactly the right place. That's very satisfying to actually get it. And then Wind Blaster. Oh, this is the same combo as before, but it just starts with a DP. Oh, so the Sonic move actually hits them. So yeah, if I bump into her, can't go through her. Right, that's something I was confused about. Oh man, that feels really good. And it's just like the previous combo. Definitely rushing and trying to like press the button as soon as possible, when really you just have to wait until the character has like fallen to the right moment. Oh, very satisfying when it works. So it's not really a difficult thing just technically to do. It's just the difficult like when you're learning it. So hopefully once it's muscle memory, it'll just be like, it should be just second nature. And it's fun to do. Alright, so I've done the general tutorial, learned a few combos, but it's time to jump straight into online mode with no practice whatsoever, because it's a little bit like what the arcade was like, you know. In fact, you didn't even have a tutorial. So it looks like there is actually a free battle, story, arcade mode, and survival mode, but I'm not going to be playing any of those today. I just want to see what it's like to just jump straight online, find a match. While waiting, I'll just go to training mode. Let's hope it loads nice and quickly. Man, these illustrations are gorgeous. So what I want to do generally, oh, opponent found. Here we go. Waiting confirmation. The wonder has called upon new seeds. What? This looks like some sort of bread advertisement. Okay, it's just the training stage. I assume that's the training stage. Whoa, I'm a skater? Ouch. Help me. This does not feel like a beginner. Help me. Well, that was terrifying. What on earth is going on? Do I need to be right up next to them? I thought maybe it was like some sort of projectile. Double perfected on my first match online in novice mode. Well, feels bad. Felt as good as it did in training mode. The graphics are beautiful. Wasn't really paying attention. Whoa, I waited about 5 seconds before getting a match. Wonder Bread has brought in new grains. I need a move. What do my moves do? What do my MP skills do? I only know down MP skill. It's the only move I remember how to do. That's not true. I can orb. Help. I can't air dash. What kind of anime game can you not air dash? Just gotta throw them to death. What? I can throw from pretty far away. I'm in exhaustion. Oh, what? So it's blowing my mind that I can't air block in an anime game. It's kind of crazy. Is one of those an overhead? Because I am not sure. No, dead. Graphically wise, I feel like the art style is, well, it's like fantastic, first of all. But because of the way that the shading isn't as like soft as Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, I feel like graphically this sits somewhere between Grand Blue Fantasy Versus and Guilty Gear, either Rev 2 or Strive. It has quite a Guilty Gear Rev 2 look to it, but because of the atmosphere and the way that the lighting works in this game, it's kind of close to Strive and GB Versus as well. So we got the long swords, man. You really can't just jump around as crazy as you do in most anime games, huh? Forgot I've got this little teleport move. It's useful. Well, that was silly. Please combo. Yes. All right. So this is the Tekken aspect of this game. You wait till you've got no health left, and then you get this free super doohickey. Uh-oh. Hey! I actually took a round. I can't believe it. This is the only thing I know how to do. I'm normal into my super. Well, at least it looks absolutely freaking gorgeous. Still haven't quite understood what's going on, and I think a lot of the mistakes I'm making in this game are like I'm making a lot like assumptions, I think, about how the game is supposed to work because it looks like games I've played before. But this is very much its own game, and I'm impressed because when I saw footage of it, I was just like, it's just going to be... It looks like it's just going to be Grand Blue Fantasy Versus with different characters, but it's absolutely not. Definitely got its own thing going on here. No, 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 no! Well, at least I get to see another super. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. It is very Guilty Gear-like, but it's definitely got its own thing going on. It doesn't just do the standard anime things. I'm very curious. Uh-oh, no. Wait. I was blocking that, wasn't I? Is that low? Please do some damage this time. Not dead. Yes! I actually took a round off the Crusader. Oh man, I'm so happy. Oh no! Oh, that's low. I felt happy with my progress that time. Alright, that is all I have time for today. DNF Duel went through tutorial mode, learned 2 combos, basically didn't use any of them online. Then I went into online matches and just had a blast, and that is so different to what I was expecting. I think visually, you look at this game and you go, I think I've seen this before. It's probably more of the same. It's a franchise I've never heard of, so it's probably going to be aimed at casuals, and maybe it's not going to actually have that deep system mechanics to it. But this is definitely its own game, and I think I kind of wasn't sure what to expect of Grand Blue Fantasy when that game came out as well. It's like, okay, it's a fighting game based off some mobile game that is, insanely popular, but it's probably trying to appeal to casual audiences or something. No, this is a straight up, it is its own fighting game, and it means business. Absolutely. It is serious in all the ways that a fighting game means when it means to be serious. Like, it's got its combos, it's got deep mechanics, it's got good online netcode, it's got interesting looking characters, it's got the graphics, it's got alternatives to control methods. It allows you to use a controller like this, but you could play on a pad controller. You've got this simple mode, you've got the technical inputs, you've got the MP system. It's interesting. I'm really, really happy. Obviously, not actually practicing any of the combos properly before going online. Maybe that's a mistake, but I personally feel like that's sometimes the most fun you can have. It's like a really precious time with a brand new fighting game. When you walk into the arcade, you put the coin in on something you've never really seen before, and you have no idea what to expect, and you just mash buttons as like a crazy person, and you just do your absolute best. It is its own game, and when you look at it from the outside, you might think that you know what's going on here, but you need to try it. You need to try this out because it feels pretty good. And anyway, I've only played like 4 online matches, so what do I know? Anyway, I hope you were able to make up some opinions about DNF Duel here on day 1 of this game coming out, but we won't know until I've spent a little more time with the other characters, found out whether this is a mechanic system that I actually find really interesting. Usually with games like Under Night In-Birth, it's got a cool little tug-of-war grid system at the bottom, or Darkstalkers, it's got some characters have short hops and it's really, really fast. It's got air blocking, it's got guard cancels. Right now I'm blown away here on day 1, but I will have to spend more time with it and actually find out, is this a game that I want to sink time into as well? Because with a fighting game, it's a lot like a musical instrument. You don't just pick up the flute one day and pick up a trumpet the next day. Is this an instrument that I want to spend time mastering and practicing and getting good at? And obviously, the better you practice, the more you practice and the more you master it, the more rewarding the experience will be. Simply because it has awesome visuals that you would expect from Guilty Gear Strive or Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and also has excellent netcode and it's super smooth. It's very tempting to go, even if the game sucks, I'll play it. But fortunately, the game doesn't suck. It's really interesting. So look forward to future videos featuring DNF Duel as I make my way through the other modes in the game and try out more online matches and see whether this is a game that I want to continue playing. And be sure to also pop over to the Twitch stream, twitch.com/NihongoGamer, where you can actually watch me playing this game live. I'll be testing out this controller and many of the other controllers that you see in these YouTube videos. Until the next NihongoGamer video and or stream, get ready for more DNF Duel in the future. I'll see you all around.